Okay, we're recording. So when we're going to divide complex numbers, I want you to focus in on the bottom complex number, and we're going to write its conjugate. So we have -9 minus 7i. The conjugate will be -9, so you keep the first number, plus, you change the sign of the second piece, 7i. So I'm going to write a little definition for you guys of a conjugate, and I want you guys to write this down. Hopefully I can write it neatly. Okay. Man, this is hard. Let me write with my finger. Okay. The conjugate that's how you spell conjugate, of the complex number a plus bi is, I'll just write it underneath, a minus bi. So they're conjugates of each other. All you gotta do is switch the sign of the imaginary portion. Did you guys learn that before?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. So this is just a little bit of review, and I'm sorry it took me so long to just write it. I'm writing with my finger, please forgive me. Okay, so we're going to use that conjugate of the bottom piece, and we're gonna multiply the entire fraction by that. So we're gonna multiply both the top and the bottom by the conjugate, -9 plus 7i. Because the denominator was -7i, we're just going to flip that part, plus 7i now. -9 plus 7i. Okay. I have a feeling I'm going to run out of some space, which makes me sad. So I'm going to zoom in so that I can just write smaller. Okay. We're going to FOIL the top and we're going to FOIL the bottom. So it's a lot of multiplying still, so you get to practice your multiplying while you're doing your division. Hooray. Let's FOIL the top. We're going to do first. So 23 times -9. 23 times -9. 207. Oh gosh, that's not legible. Let me do that again. There you go. First, then outer. 23 times 7i. That's 161. And then -11i times -9. That's going to be +99i, because there's an I there. That's for the inner. And then now we have our last, -11 times 7. So that's going to be -77i squared. Okay. Do you guys have questions on our foiling of the top portion? Okay, so if not, would you guys like to simplify the top portion first, or would you like to FOIL out the bottom portion and then we'll simplify everything together? Because you can do it either way. FOIL, okay, somebody said FOIL, and that's the only person who responded, so I'm gonna FOIL it. Let's FOIL that bottom part. Okay, first, -9 times -9, that's +81. There's kind of legible. Outer, -9 times 7i, that's 63i. Inner, negative 7i times negative 9, that's positive, plus 63i. And last, negative 7i times positive 7i. So that's minus 49i squared. Okay. Any questions on our foiling of the bottom portion? I know it's a lot of foiling, a lot of mess. Okay. If you do have questions, feel free to interrupt me, but I'm going to scooch on over so we can move on. All right. Okay, so let's simplify the top. I'm going to simplify it by, let's first combine our imaginary terms. Okay. So we have negative 207, and then 161i plus 99i, that is 260i, I believe. And then minus 77i squared. Oh, I'm sorry about the internet. I know, sometimes we just have really bad internet. I guess my recommendation is if you can't hear something, you can ask me to repeat it like somebody did earlier. And also, if you haven't already, you can ask the school for their hotspot because I think they have hotspots that they offer to students. Okay, I'm sorry. So tell me if you need me to repeat, okay? Tell me if you need me to repeat. So what we just did was we combined those two yellow pieces into this. That's all we did right here. Let's combine our bottom ones. I guess I shouldn't put them yellow, I'll put them as green. Okay, when you combine those two, let's see what happens. We have 81, and then minus 63i plus 63i, that just disappears. So our imaginary piece disappears altogether, which is why we use the conjugate in the first place. So it forces our imaginary piece to disappear on the bottom. So we just have 81 minus 49i squared. Okay, any questions? Okay, then let's deal with the I squared pieces. So you guys know that the I squared should really just be a negative 1. So we're going to rewrite this negative 207 plus 260i minus 77 times the negative 1. That's all divided by 81 minus 49 times the negative 1. Okay, any questions so far? All right, oh, looks like I don't have any space to scroll down. Okay, let's hope I don't have space. Actually, let me see. I'm going to write on this top part, okay? So that's where my work is going. It's going up now because I ran out of space. So we have negative 207 plus 260i, and then negative 77 times negative 1, negative times a negative makes it a positive. So it's now a plus 77. Hooray. And then on the bottom, we got 81. Oh, please excuse that 8. It is a mess. And then minus 49 times negative 1 is plus 49. Any questions? Okay, let's finish combining. What color haven't I used? I haven't used blue. So we're going to combine this piece and this piece because they are our real pieces of the top. So negative 277 plus 77. I'm just going to use my calculator because I'm tired right now. Okay, that's negative 130. Plus 260 I, all divided by 81 plus 49, 130. Oh, how nice. What a perfect number. So far we just combined our like terms. We combined our real terms. We have one more step. I know this is a long one, huh? Dividing complex numbers is a long process. Okay, so now we need to divide everything by 130 because that's what it says. It says everything is divided by 130. So we can do, I'm gonna use, what color haven't I used? I used all my colors. I'm just gonna go back to red. Oh, that's not red, whatever. Negative 130 divided by 130, that's gonna give us a negative 1. So I'll just highlight that. And then using a different color, let's do yellow. 260I divided by 130, that's going to give us plus 2I. Now sometimes you might get a fraction. I don't know if Delta Math will give you a fraction or a decimal, that's totally okay. But in this case, we got whole numbers. I think Delta Math likes to make it nice numbers, so you might just get whole numbers. But our final answer is negative 1 plus 2I. And I know that was a long process, so does anybody have any questions because they lagged, because they don't get it, anything? Okay, then I'm gonna type in negative 1 plus 2I into the thing, negative 1 plus 2I, and submit. And it tells us we're correct. And it tells you the whole process here. We're multiplying by the conjugate of the denominator, foiling it, simplify, 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 and simplify. That's the whole process. Let's do another problem. And then I'll send you guys out into breakout rooms. Yes, we're okay on time. Okay. Screenshot. All right. So we want to multiply by the conjugates of the denominator. Can somebody tell me what the conjugate of the denominator is?
Negative 3 minus 4I.
Thank you. Yes. I didn't catch your name because I was writing, but thank you. So you just, instead of using a plus, you just use a minus for I. Negative 3 minus 4I. Okay? And then we're just going to FOIL the top and FOIL the bottom. So first, we have negative 24. Outer, we have minus 32I. Inner, we have minus 21I. And last, we have minus 28I squared. On the bottom, let me erase that arrow. On the bottom, first, 9. Outer, plus 12, that's a plus 12I. Inner, minus 12I. Effectively canceling out our imaginary term. And last, minus 16I squared. I'll give some people some time to write it just in case they were writing it. And also time for questions. Do you guys have any questions on what we've done so far? Okay. Remember to interrupt me if you lag, if you can't hear, if you can't understand, if you're confused. All right, we're gonna simplify this now because we have to. We want it to be simplified. So let's simplify by combining our imaginary terms. So I'll just combine these two, and I'll just highlight these also. I'm gonna combine those. Okay, so we have on the top, negative 24, negative 32i minus 21i, that's negative 53i, or minus 53i, same thing. And then minus 28i squared. Close enough. That 8 is just missing a piece of its head. 9 on the bottom. Those two imaginary pieces cancel out altogether. We get minus 16i squared. What's wrong with my finger? Why doesn't it know my finger is here? Why is it so slow? Okay, let's continue this. Now I want us to focus on the I squared parts. Remember that I squared is negative 1, so let's write it out now. Negative 24 minus 53i minus 28, and then times negative 1. On the bottom, we have 9 minus 16 times negative 1. Let's see, do I have space? I have a little space, yay. Okay. Any questions up till here? Okay. Negative 24 minus 53, come on, and then that turns to plus 28. On the bottom, we got 9 plus 16. Okay. Any questions up till here? All right, I'm gonna zoom out so I can write on the top because it's where I have space. Oops, I can't see my thing. There we go, I'll just write it over here. So we have a negative 24. That is a 4. Oh wait, sorry. We're gonna combine our real numbers. Let me highlight those. I'll highlight in blue. We're gonna combine the negative 24 and the 28. So if you combine those two, you get 4. So I just write 4 minus 53i. So that's what we have on top. And then 9 plus 16 on the bottom, that's 25. Whatever, that's 25, okay? I'm so tired of my bad stylus. All right, and then finally, we need to simplify into a plus bi form. So literally all that means is, let me highlight this. We're gonna do 4 over 25. We can leave it as a fraction, totally acceptable. 4 over 25. It's not simplifiable, so we can just leave it like that. And then let's do in highlighter 53i over 25. So I'm going to say minus because it was a minus symbol right here. 53i over 25. Oh my gosh. Okay. My handwriting is really bothering me. Do you guys have any questions on this one? All right, I'm gonna enter it in. 4 over 25 minus 53, I over 25. 4 over 25 minus 53 over 25, I think that was what we had. And it says they're right. So I guess they will give you fractions sometimes. It's not always just whole numbers. They'll give you fractions once in a while. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop the recording for this section.